do leave a review at the very end of the show. I'd massively appreciate it. So we're going to talk about problem solving to be an effective operator, so operator during the day, being an effective human being. And throughout our lives, we are consistently facing problems. Big problems, micro problems. The variant really on that is depending on the individual and how you see that problem. So what I might see as a small problem, you may see as a big problem. Or what you see as a big problem, I may see as a small, vice versa. It is all variant. Okay, so when we look at problems tend to be just like little knocks to our day, distractions pulling us away from the direction that we want to go, right? Do you ever continuously go through your life and go, fucking it, it's just one thing after another. It's just one thing after another. And that tends to play in our mind, and we tend to bury our heads and have that head down, kick the stone down the street attitude. Because that is reality. The one thing after the other type of problem coming in, that is reality of life, and we're not going to get away from that. And they're things that we need to deal with. Little micro problems are going to eventually build up. I always talk about small wins, okay, and I always talk about those small wins leading to the big wins. Well, it's the same with problems. It's all those small problems, micro problems, that end up becoming the big problem. Because what we do is that we absorb all of the problems that are going on in our lives, and we take them in, and they go into the brain, they go into the body, and we consume them, but we never let them go. So have you ever really gone to somebody with a problem and they've turned around and said, just let it go? Or somebody else, or your parents or someone saying, just let it go? Or maybe someone's talked to you about a problem and you said, you just need to let that go. And it's learning to let go of those small problems, because what actually happens is that we take on all those micro problems, and then all of a sudden we've got a backpack or a Bergen full of problems weighing us down. And that affects your confidence, your self-esteem, that affects your stress levels, that affects how you operate during the day, because you could come across quite negative, you can come across quite angry, you can come across quite frustrated, and all of those emotions lead to ill health, poor nutrition because you emotionally eat and drink, a lack of exercise because you're too exhausted to do that and you don't have the energy. So you can see this kind of spirals out of control. It goes down the rabbit hole of affecting the rest of your life, because you come home, you snap at the kids as well, and you snap at the wife also, because all of these problems, you're carrying around this burden of problems, okay? So over a period of time, something that could have just been minor has turned into major, because inside we have all of these problems and we have to learn to let go of some of these things. So what I want to do is kind of share some strategies that I used, or mentalities that I used to try and let go of things. And I've noticed more recent now that I've kind of become accustomed to not really seeing things as a problem. I do see some things as a problem, but the way that I deal with them has definitely been better than in the last 2 years. And when my partner comes up to me with possible problems, I'm just like, is that a problem? And it's about putting things into perspective. And again, the variant is on the individual. But when I put things into perspective, I look at the situation or the problem or everything that's going on, and I ask myself, okay, if I step out of this, out of life at the minute, step out of the rut, and I look at the bigger picture, I look at and I think, I'm breathing, I've got 2 arms, I've got 2 legs, okay? And I look at some of my comrades that come back from Afghanistan with no legs. I look at people who have been told they've got terminal cancer. I look at people who maybe have just lost their house, who have just lost their partner, maybe. And then I put into perspective the problems that I'm suffering and think to myself, am I really going to let this affect my life? Is this really going to affect my life? All these micro problems, everyday problems I call them, okay? Dealing with negativity at the office, dealing with unorganised bosses, dealing with people you don't see eye to eye with, dealing with bills, dealing with a difference of opinion, dealing with issues that have triggered you on social media, dealing with road rage, dealing with a lack of money, Problems, man, fucking, okay. When you accept they are part of your life, when you accept that these type of micro issues are just part of the process of living, you can tackle them a lot better, okay? You can tackle them a lot better. You don't see them as problems. You see them as just obstacles that you just need to jump over. And where most people get so hepped up on problems and issues is that they allow it to grow from a 6-foot wall to a 12-foot wall to a 20-foot wall, and you never get over that wall. So I've got to deal with them. So one of the things that I do is that when I am faced with an obstacle or a problem, is try and relax. Okay, I try and relax and release. So ask yourself before releasing, is this important? So when I wake up in 12 months' time, am I going to be thinking about this problem? Is it going to affect my life? Is it going to consume me? Am I going to allow it to dominate my thought process? Am I going to allow it to distract me from the path that I'm trying to lead my better life? Or am I going to slowly fall down the rabbit hole of letting this problem overwhelm me? So by relaxing your state of mind, you are able to relax, take time out, take a step back, take a knee, take a deep breath, and just let it go. And just let that problem, whatever it is, deal with that, deal with it, then let it go. Don't harbour it. Because the more you harbour, the heavier your backpack gets, and the more you're weighed down. Okay? And that was the biggest thing for me, is just learning to put things into this perspective of, is this important? Is this a problem? Is this really going to hold me back? Is this really going to make me want to have a drink? Is this really going to make me want to emotionally eat? Okay, is this really a big deal? And that's my number one way of moving forwards. Some other strategies I used to do is practice meditation. I still do. I use an app called Calm. And what Calm, by doing this, it's like a 10-minute daily meditation. By listening to this woman talking, you kind of go to a different place. You kind of really just relax. It kind of calms your mindset. It kind of puts things into perspective. It kind of puts your brain into a positive state of mind. Now, sometimes problems come from negativity, and if we're constantly consumed by negativity, that's how we think. That's how we walk around. That's how we act. Okay. And by introducing something as cool as meditation or breathing exercises, we can allow ourselves to relax a little bit more. And as I spoke about at the start, learning to relax allows you to release. And so when you're releasing a lot of that stress and pent-up frustration, it puts things into perspective. So it's just like this beautiful funnel. It's relaxing, it's releasing, it's perspective, it's the bigger picture. Okay. And I talk about the problem solving because you might be an entrepreneur. You might be a stressed out entrepreneur who's up to fucking 2 o'clock in the morning, worrying about finances, worrying about stress, worrying about the fact that you're not spending enough time with your partner. You might be somebody that drinks too much. You might be somebody that is overweight and you need to lose weight. And the problem is that obviously we are not dialed down because we are so frustrated and stressed because of problem solving. Because we're not solving problems, because we're not coping properly. We don't have a system in place to help us with our coping mechanisms. We just plough through. It's just ploughing through head first, not dealing with it. So, just to summarise, okay, this is the number one thing that I've done, is to relax. Relax your mindset. Take a step out of the rat race, because taking 5 minutes out is not going to end your day. Before you say you don't have time to take 5 minutes out and have a cup of tea, go for a walk, just take a few deep breaths, it's complete bullshit. We've got 24 hours in a day. Taking 5 minutes to reset yourself, okay, to reflect, to release the problem, to then think about the bigger picture and put things into perspective, the fact that you are alive, but you're not doing your body any favours by stressing out. And then to let go and move on and think about the bigger picture. All right, that one strategy is going to help you calm your mind. Some meditation in the morning, doing your golden hour in the morning, also doing some exercise, eating well, drinking more water, all positive strategies that will back up that main one that I've given you to help you cope with stress. If you can get exercise in the morning out, what you do is release quite a lot of those problems that you're holding, because it is a great stress buster. And because you are smashing the press ups or the running or the treadmill or whatever it is that you're doing, you release all of that negative energy and you see the bigger picture. It's like the Lego movie. If you've ever seen a Lego movie, they just get it. So all of a sudden the guy just gets it and figures out how to make, it kind of figures out how to make the Lego or the Matrix. He can suddenly seize the Matrix, right? And you just do that exercise, you're like, it's gone. I don't need to deal with that. I don't need to deal with that. And the beauty of this is the more you do it, the more reps you put into doing this, the more practice that you do doing this, the better you get. So if you think about, I'm just checking the time. So if you think about bicep curls, your bicep can curl, you're doing your squats, you're doing them every day, you get stronger, you get more proficient, you become more conditioned to them. And that is no different when you practice problem solving. The more reps you do in problem solving, the more strategy that you put into place with this, okay, the stronger that you are going to be at it, the more conditioned you are going to be at it, the better you will be at problem solving to be an effective operator, an effective human being, to then be able to follow the goals that you're looking to follow the drive that you want, okay, to follow the path that you want to go, and you're not going to be distracted left, right and centre with micro problems. I hope that helps. If you are listening on Facebook, please do drop a share, please do drop a like, please share this with someone that might help. If you're on the podcast, please do share the podcast with someone, review it, I massively appreciate it. I'm off to London Zoo today, I'm going to go and train for an hour and a half with my new instructor, new coach, going to train her up, make sure she's doing a great job, and then I'm off to London Zoo. So if I see you in London,